Hi, welcome back to my podcast, Cosmic Insight Astrology. This is Christina. Today, I'm going to talk about the Capricorn new moon, which is going to take place on December 23rd, right before Christmas Eve. And it's going to be on 1 degree 33 minutes of, or 32, 33 minutes of Capricorn. So that is the first decan and the first dwad as well. So very Capricornian, very Saturnian energy. Saturn is endurance and it's ambition and it's a good work ethic, but also it fears and restriction and delays as well. So let's see what's going to happen over here and what kind of other aspect this new moon going to represent and bring in. First of all, I erected the chart to Eastern Standard Time. And don't mind the house system over here, just focus on the aspect. So the new moon is a new beginning, a new start, reinvent ourselves, restart something. It's giving us new opportunity. It is planting seed. Capricorn, as I said, it's a very Saturnian energy. So we were talking about Saturn over there, but it's also governed by the government. So it's also rules the government. So this kind of aspect has some kind of government restriction energy anyway. And we have a Capricorn stellium. It's very heavy, especially for people who ruled by Jupiter or Venus or, the really optimistic planets over here. They don't necessarily like that Capricornian energy here because it's heavy. It's not only the fears over here, the heaviness of the fears, but, also it is endurance, and not everybody have that kind of endurance. All right, but new moon planting seed. Let's talk about planting seed over here because this is positive. And whatever you start right now during this new moon, because it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is old ages, and it's a long term, it's representing whatever you do right now, whatever growing for you, planting right now, it's going to be a long term. So it is stability. It's good. It's really good. All right. So this new moon is going to actually square Jupiter. Jupiter went on December 20, 3 days before this new moon, to Aries. And actually, it is 0 degrees cardinal sign. It's an anaretic karmic degree. Very, very powerful. Really potent. It's magnifying Jupiter's energy. And Jupiter is the planet of blessing. It is generosity. It is high education. It is abundance, the riches. It is joy and opportunity and traveling. So what's gonna go over here? It's squaring. So square is a Martian flavor. Mars actually is signifies and like courage. It is the warrior. It is very fiery, impulsive initiator. However, at this moment, Mars, that rules Aries, went retrograde in Gemini. So Mars over here is not powerful. Mars is angry and frustrated. And because Gemini is the youthful, Mars is representing Aries, so it's representing the toddler ages. It is almost like Mars is having a tantrum. Like, like I said it before, like a little toddler doesn't get its way, his, her way, and like laying down and doesn't move and crying and angry. So yes, definitely. It is representing some kind of tantrum over here. So that is frustration right now. Frustration because of we all want everything to move forward. You feel stagnated. You feel like, oh my God, I want it to end. And, here is, I'm planting my new beginning, but somehow I feel my seed is not growing as fast as I want to. Okay, so definitely we need to practice patience over here, because so as you know, in January 2023, January 22nd, when the Chinese New Year starts, the rabbit, which is fertility, we're going to have all planets going direct until March. So that is significant. So we don't have to wait for a long time. You know, we need to be patient during the holiday season. And we all planned a beautiful holiday most of the time, you know, or most of us, or, you know, gathering together. And Mars retrograde over here in Gemini could give us some kind of flu, inflammation, respiratory illnesses. So we won't be capable, we won't be able to gather with family. You know, it is a frustrating energy, definitely. And here, what we planted, we know it's going to be enormous, and we know it's going to be long term, and we can actually set and grow or root with this, whatever we planted, whatever we want to manifest. But it is very hard to wait for, you know, guys, when, for example, many times, you know, a lot of people is building big complexes right now, and buildings. And right now, for months, there is like they try to even the land, or, you know, working on the land for months, demolishing, whatever. And then out of nowhere, then 2 days later or 3 days later, I'm driving by, and it's already done, the whole apartment complex in 3 days. So this is just like building an apartment complex. Right now, you are rooting something. Right now, you are working on the stability. So make sure it could endure anything in the future, you know, any kind of tornadoes or whatever it's going to affect us, like political tornadoes I'm talking about. And of course, like some kind of real weather disasters as well. But it can endure everything. So it's strong enough to build on later on. And believe me, from January on, you will see it's going to manifest really quickly. It is just right now the process where it's like, okay, that is the building period, that is the foundation, Saturn foundation, very important. So that's why, and you know, Jupiter wants to move. Jupiter is bold in Aries. It is like, let's go, let's move. I want everything right now. In Aries, it's like you know, like everything is about himself or herself. That is, it could be very selfish energy also. And you know, but right now I'm not capable to do that, because somehow I'm still frustrated and I'm still black a little bit during this new moon. But you know what? Keep on working on your roots, keep on working on the foundation. I promise to you, end of January, you will see, you know, a rapid change, and it's going to be beautiful. Also, I also wanted to talk about, it's also going to this new moon square to Ceres, and Ceres went in Libra on December 18th. So what does it represent over here? So Ceres is the goddess of agriculture. And Ceres' daughter was abducted, and I mentioned a few times already, so she actually could be depressed or has fears. So because of agriculture, and this is a new moon, but ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is restriction, it could actually bring in some kind of issue with food. So look, Venus is also over here. And Venus is also, Venus rules Taurus as well, which is garden, food, or food exactly. So with this, and with the square of the agriculture asteroids, it could be like, we're not gonna have seeds somehow. So it's going to somehow have some issue with seeds, or you know, like with the grain fields, or maybe it's gonna be underwater or something like that, because the moon represents water. And it could bring in some, or maybe because Saturn actually is dry, it could bring in like it's going to be a drought. And that's why the seed is not growing in mundane perspective, in general for global perspective, for the collective. So yes, it could bring that in. But as Ceres is also planting, it could represent, and it's a square, it could represent like, you know what, I feel the urge to do a difference, and I feel the urge to maybe talk about nature, or maybe do some kind of sustainable living. So maybe you're going to preserve, and because of fears, because maybe you have fears like if you don't not gonna have in the future, so you're gonna preserve right now. It's gonna make you, that kind of Martian energy is making you to preserve your food, or you know, your land or something like that. So it could turn out to be positive as well, not necessarily all negative over here. All right, guys, so that was the new moon in Capricorn. There is some bitter aspects. There is a tremendous good into this bitterness, because, you know, like just like yin and yang changing all the time, the bad and the good and the ugly, everything, you find the silver lining, you practice patience, you imagine a better future, and it will create a better future. But patience is really, really important. All right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Happy New Year again. And I'm going to see you in January. Bye for now.